Is Jeff Nixon the answer to the Houston Texans' offensive struggles? Sounds funny coming out of my mouth, have a hard time saying yes to that. But today we're going to talk about Jeff Nixon, a candidate who's popped up for the Houston Texans offensive coordinator role. Thank you for watching and supporting, guys. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I talk about the Texans daily Texans content. I promise you will find something that you'll enjoy. Texans fan, or if you're just an NFL fan, please subscribe. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate all the support we've been getting. We've been growing like crazy over the past couple of days. So let's get straight into this video. I'm going to talk to you about Jeff Nixon, talk to you about his background, and maybe kind of his resume that seems to be a little light. He's 50 years old, not to roast the guy or anything, but at 50 years old, you would think maybe he's got more of a resume. But anyway, let's talk about it. So Jeff Nixon is a 50-year-old offensive coordinator and running back coach for the Syracuse Orange in the ACC. That is currently what he does. He played at West Virginia and then transferred to Penn State as a running back, and he earned a master's degree in education administration from Shippensburg. So I don't know what Shippensburg is, never heard of it, but he has a master's degree in education administration from them. So he's a good teacher, you would hope. His coaching career, he's been everywhere. So from 2007 to 2010, he coached the Eagles special teams, and he was a running back assistant coach under Andy Reid, which is kind of interesting. 2011 to 2015, Dolphins running back coach. 2016, he goes to the 49ers as their tight end coach, and Chip Kelly is the head coach of the 49ers while Jeff Nixon is there. And Chip Kelly is kind of funny. Obviously, he's another candidate for the offensive coordinator role. Then from 2017 to 2019, he goes to the Bears. And this is where we first start to see a little bit of offensive coordinator type of a role from Jeff Nixon. So from 2017 to 2019, he was the co-offensive coordinator and running back coach. Co-offensive coordinator. I believe the head coach was also the offensive coordinator. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. But in 2018, Baylor ranked top 20 in total offense and total passing yards. They averaged 460 yards of offense a game. In 2019, Baylor averaged 36 points per game, which was 17th in the country. That's pretty good when you're talking about all the teams in college football and you're hanging up on average 36 points against teams. And this isn't a total yard stat like the last one was. This is a scoring stat. Like, you are putting points on the board, which is definitely what I like to see. So you could call that a success. Again, he's only the co-offensive coordinator, so maybe you give him like half of that success. I don't know. But anyway, after that 2019 Baylor season, he goes back to the NFL. And in 2020, he goes to the Panthers as a running back coach and an offensive assistant. So whatever that role means. Now, in 2021, he's still on the Panthers, but this is interesting because Joe Brady is fired early December. So Nixon becomes the interim head coach, and he actually calls the plays, has the headset on, becomes the offensive coordinator for the Panthers for 4 games in 2020. So let's talk about how he did. They averaged 17.5 points a game, and they went 1-3. So not great. But for some context, this is a 2020 bad Panthers team. The rushing attack was ranked 21st in the NFL, and their quarterbacks were Teddy Bridgewater, who started, PJ Walker, who was a backup, and then they actually ended up playing 2 more quarterbacks. I don't remember off the top of my head. They were not a fun team to rewatch or look at. Also, in one of their games, Teddy Bridgewater threw 2 picks, hurt his ankle. PJ Walker comes in and throws 3 more. So a 5-pick game from the offense, and they lost that game 33-7 against the Saints. They got blown out. And so if you take out that low-scoring game because of the 5 picks that you can't really pin on an offensive coordinator, then his averages go up to 21 points for 3 games. So 21 points, 3 games, still not great. But again, you got to look at what he's working with. He's working with a pretty bad 2020 Carolina Panthers team, like no stars. So there's that. But again, this is the first time we're going to see him call plays at the pro level. So anyway, after the 2021 season, he basically doesn't get asked back to offensive coordinate. And then if you remember anything about the Panthers, they fire everyone. They do a clean house. So yeah, so he takes a break for a year. And then in 2023, the New York Giants pick him up as a running back coach. So it kind of circles back. You'll remember for the Eagles, he was a running back coach, a special teams coach, an assistant. And in 2023, he's back to a running back coach on the Giants. Now we get to this year, 2024. So this year, he was Syracuse's offensive coordinator, accepting that role. So Syracuse was ranked first in average passing yards a game, and they were also ranked first in passing offense. So they were the number one ranked passing offense in all of college football this year. Another stat that's really kind of points to this is Syracuse also had one of the highest time of possessions this year, meaning the amount of time that the offense had the ball. They were ranked in that near the top, and they never ran the ball, which is shocking to think about. You almost never see that at the college level. So basically, what that means is they're throwing a lot of passes, way more than running it, and they're having a lot of completions because they're able to catch the ball inbounds and keep that clock running. So again, high time of possession, but you're barely running the ball. Normally, it's the opposite. Their new quarterback, Kyle McCord, that name sounds familiar because he was Ohio State's quarterback last year, ended up transferring. I was always higher on Kyle McCord than I think everyone at Ohio State was, fairly or not fairly. He definitely probably had, a lot of blame pinned on him for the Michigan game and throwing that pick. And obviously, they just won the Natty without him, so you kind of feel bad for him. Whatever. Again, I don't think Kyle McCord's terrible. I don't think he's amazing, but you could make the argument maybe the reason they're so good with this passing offense is because you have a guy like Kyle McCord coming from playing at Ohio State to now the ACC. And then when you go to their rushing rank, they were actually ranked 122nd out of 134th in the run game. So that's not great, especially since Nixon played running back in college. It's actually really perplexing. So, and just to give you some more tangible stats about Kyle McCord, so his last Ohio State season in 2023, he threw the ball 348 times and completed 229 of them for a total of 3,100 yards. This season in Syracuse, he threw the ball 592 times, almost 600 times. He completed 391 of them, and he threw for 4,700 yards. So Kyle McCord broke the all-time ACC passing yards record set by Deshaun, I think, at Clemson. I'm not 100% sure. But he broke that record and threw 4,779 yards. So there's maybe something to be talked about, when you're looking at who is his offensive coordinator. Let's kind of see what's happening. So what I did is I went through and watched a lot of Syracuse games, even watched some 2020 Carolina Panthers games. It sucked, but it is what it is. But anyway, let's talk about Syracuse. So what I noticed about Syracuse and their offense this year was I didn't even feel like the rushing attack was that bad. Like if they're ranked 122 out of 134, you have every right to think, oh, they've got no running backs, no playmakers at that position. They're a good, pass pro offensive line, but they can't jump off the ball. They can't go grab guys. That is honestly not the case. Like their rushing attack wasn't even bad. This was just such a pass heavy offense. I think Jeff Nixon knew that, hey, we've got Kyle McCord, accurate, a leader. Let's just use his arm. And it got to the point where I'm watching these games and I'm almost like, hey, you guys actually have a good running back. Number one, I think it's Allen at Syracuse is actually a very good running back. I actually liked him a lot watching it. A name to look out for later maybe. But yeah, I'm like, and it's not like you're ripping off 30, 35-yard runs or anything, but you're getting like 5-6 yards, maybe a carry in a game. I don't know. I need to go look at it again, but I didn't think their rushing offense was that bad, their rushing attack. But Nixon really puts these games on Kyle McCord. He averaged like 470 yards a game, something crazy like that. So let me just kind of start to wrap this up by talking about the positives from what I saw and what I like about Jeff Nixon. So here's what I liked from Jeff Nixon's offense. He's a pass first type of guy. He's an offensive coordinator who wants to throw the ball, which is becoming essential for, today's game in the NFL. And I specifically liked that McCord almost always had great check down options. So, and the ball came out quick. That's also what I like too. If McCord didn't have the deep threat, check down, that almost always gained yards. And yeah, you can attribute that to maybe the ACC level of play, whatever, but like the schemes were there. The pass protection was very good most of the times. I really liked the offensive play calling, and I guess if I could summarize it again, it would be just get the ball out quick and always have a backup plan. Like, and that's good. I mean, that's really all you can ask for. He obviously put McCord in a situation to where he can throw for 4,700 yards, and I really felt like his offense. I was almost expecting it to be more archaic with his running back background and just honestly his age. Like, not even trying to hate, but he had great routes, great concepts. Really utilized, vertical threats, stretching the field, crossing routes. Again, the running game, I didn't even think was that bad. So Those are definitely the pros I have. Another pro would be he has called an offense at the pro level, which not all of these candidates can say they have done. But I do think there is something to, bouncing around, being in a lot of different places, learning maybe nuggets from Andy Reid here, Chip Kelly here. He's been all over the league. He's got a lot of experience doing that, and he's just got a lot of experience coaching in general. So those are the pros I guess I'll give for Jeff Nixon. Now, some cons you might be wondering, or you might have already put together, are how well is this guy going to translate to the pro level? This isn't like a quarterback coach we're talking about. At the pro level, this guy's been really at the pro level one time, and it was in Carolina where he ultimately called plays for a bad team and wasn't asked back. So there's definitely that aspect of it, and I totally understand that. Overall, though, I do feel like I have him higher on my list than I initially thought. I just really like the way Syracuse offense looked this year. Rewatching the film and looking through it, it was refreshing. I mean, yeah, McCord was good. The options were good for him passing wise. I liked their running attack. Like, I don't know. I really feel like from what I saw with Syracuse, it might be time to give this guy a chance. I think he's got the ability to show something at the NFL level. And I wouldn't necessarily hate it or be super disappointed if he ended up being the hire for the Texans. But let me know what you guys think. Have you looked into Jeff Nixon? Do you think he's the guy? Is there anything you're kind of picking up from what I'm saying that you think makes him a good candidate or a bad? And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you all so much for watching, and peace out.